This I'm Ray, by the way, for Universal CarolinaJesus.com. Making this video because I've had this come up during my time of advocacy, and what ends up happening is a lot of people apply for Social Security disability and Social Security income. There's a difference, by the way. And there's a lot of questions with reference to how do I get this done. Nowadays, you can apply for disability online, ssa.gov, or you can call in 1-800, I believe it's 772-1213. That's a national number. You call in the national number and you go ahead and ask them, tell them, hey, look, you want to apply for disability, identify yourself, and you need your Social Security number and all that other wonderful stuff, your demographics, and why you feel like you need disability. Here's the thing. Generally, if you call in the online method, I believe you have to have names of doctors and so forth and more details than when you call. And what ends up happening when you call, they're going to give you generalized information, but they will refer you to your local Social Security office. All right. So the 1-800 number, national number, you call, they take your application in for disability and or SSI, and usually they consider you for food stamps and Medicaid at the same time. What ends up happening, you apply, and that's your initial application, but it doesn't stop there. To continue the application, you will need to be interviewed by a Social Security worker from your local office. So the national number will go ahead, the 800 number, will go ahead and schedule a local office worker to call you to keep on with your application. Here is the thing. I've encountered already one time wherein we got one date, let's say April 1st, and from the national number they said, hey, look, someone's Social Security will call you from your local office on April 1st. And then we got a letter with a different date, April 15th, let's say. And either way, no one called either April 1st or April 15th. So local Social Security office said we changed the date to the 15th, but the national number said we have it at the 1st. No one called on either date. And here's the thing, what I found was this. I put in an official complaint one time because I got MagiCheck. MagiCheck gives you a call log of everything that comes to your house and outgoing. So Social Security check, we called and you never picked up. So you miss your opportunity. You have to go restart the whole process. Not so, sir, ma'am, whatever you are, because I presented a call log. Now, I was interested when I presented a call log from MagiCheck. It showed each and every time we called the 800 number, and each and every time the 800 number called us. Okay, but it didn't show on the 1st or the 15th any calls coming in on the times that they specified. Basically, we encounter what we never used to encounter is workers lying and not making phone calls and then denying your application. Okay. Once you do the interview over the phone with your local Social Security office representative, what ends up happening, you're going to get a whole packet of mail, forms. You have to identify where your medical records are at or any proof to show that you're disabled. You got to identify it. Write it on the forms. Give them consent for the release of information. Do all that. But here's the thing. It used to be that's a done deal. Once the local Social Security office, once you identified where your medical records are at, they would send it along to the disability determination specialist here in North Carolina anyway. And the specialist would make sure to get the medical records from your providers, your doctors, and have it reviewed by their professionals, quote unquote, contracted disability determination doctors and professionals. here's the thing. Also encountered wherein disability determination specialist and the local social security office says, we never got the records from your medical provider. Lying as hell. Again, these things used to not happen. Usually you had confidence in government workers, now you don't. So here's the thing, what I suggest. Go to your doctor, get your medical records, make a copy, give it to the local social security office, and make a copy and give it to your disability determination specialist. Okay? Direct. They can't claim you never received the medical records. One case of a family member that I had was it listed that medical records were never turned in by the doctor. You can go back to the doctor and ask for proof that it was, and someone's lying, and do an official complaint. But the best practice at this point, given the corruptible workers that we got nowadays, is that you get the medical records. Alright, let them try to get it officially through the official channels. But you get them also, send them directly to your disability determination specialist and Social Security. They like better to deal with the chain of custody where they get it directly from the doctor. I understand, but nowadays you got a question of integrity on the part of Social Security workers. And you might have to go ahead and make sure you go to your doctor and say, did you send it? Where did you send it? When did you send it? Give me proof. That's the best way, and then go back and see if Social Security says they didn't get it. Well, here's the proof. What the hell are you talking about? It's a waiting game. Once you call the national number, they'll consider you for every program. You freeze the date of application. It takes about 6 months. If you get denied, you got to appeal. And know that this for SSI. SSI is for people who don't have work quarters, they didn't work on the books or whatever to qualify for SSD. With SSI, what ends up happening is that you can't have resources, you can't have that much income. So if you got some sort of income and resources, you might have problem. Whereas disability, based on your quarters, is different. You worked, you earned the money, you get the money. Hopefully this helps. And appeal. I've had workers claim I didn't get the medical records. I showed them that it was sent. Won the appeal. Took time, but I won. And appeals nowadays are to the over the phone with a court hearing and so forth. So just trying to help. Take care. Hope this really helps. Appeals are another thing you just want to deal with. Make sure you get your application right, because that's 6 months, 6 to 9 months right there, just waiting for income. Especially after you got injured on a job or whatever. That's a whole another story. Take care.